Love it or hate it, the conversation about Rolex prices is here to stay, and just like you can't help but discreetly try out your own scent when you let slip a bite of musk under the covers on a Saturday morning, you can't help but check back on what's happening with the value of Earth's favourite wristwatch. I think it's all about to change. First and foremost, and I'm obliged to say this because I don't want you to sue the pants off me, I like these pants, this isn't financial advice. I am the last person you should take any kind of wisdom on how to spend your money from. I'm the guy who sold his Royal Oak before it was worth a lot. So bear that in mind before we continue. I want to start off with a little story. I remember it as clear as day, and yet in my mind it seems like nothing more than a clip from a TV show or something I just completely made up. It was early 2020, and we'd heard that the TV studio down the road from the office had sent everyone home because someone had turned up to work with COVID-19, whatever that was. Within a week, our own office was deserted. I still had to go in to shoot, but otherwise it was a sea of bare desks and empty seats. The roads were barren, the streets silent. We were living in what now feels like a movie. It wasn't just our jobs that were affected. Everything was thrown for a loop. The simple act of buying flour or toilet roll became a Mad Max-style hope and a prayer. I rationed my usage by using my wife's socks and putting them in the wash, so she didn't find out. Shh. The part nobody expected on top of what nobody had already expected was the effect on hobbies. We were home more. Many people were on furlough. It was the perfect time to do that one thing you'd always promised yourself you'd do. For me, that was astrophotography. Well, it would have been had I been able to buy any of it. Everything everywhere was out of stock, especially anything computer chip related. Not only was there a global pandemic, there was also a global crypto mining boom and, to top it all off, a fire at one of the biggest computer chip suppliers in the world. The net result? Stuff became expensive. When things are hard to get, people pay more for the privilege of getting them. And if people are willing to pay more for the privilege of getting them, that attracts the interest of speculators. People have speculated over things since time immemorial. From whether or not grog will return from a day's hunting to the price of Rolex, it is open season for anyone looking to make a buck buying the right things. You might think that betting the house on a Swiss watch manufacturer that produces somewhere around 1 million watches a year might be a bit volatile. Enter the cryptocurrency crowd. If there's one thing that's amplified the volatility of speculation, it's the internet. In early 2021, a group of Redditors joined forces to short squeeze GameStop after a predicted decline. 1, to make a profit, and 2, to fire a shot across the bow of the traditional investment institution. Individually, the Redditors were small fry, but together they were a hive mind that wielded real power. This incident, which pushed GameStop shares up 1,500%, demonstrated the susceptibility of people connected via a global network to follow the crowd. Take that force and combine it with the ultimate speculative, interconnected digital asset, cryptocurrency, and you've got yourself an opportunity to make a wild amount of money or to lose everything. The volatility of cryptocurrency is well publicized, but that doesn't stop opportunists. The seesaw swings of the price of Bitcoin tells a story that keeps on repeating itself, where renewed hype forces it upwards, only for every man and his dog to jump on board long after the moment has passed, causing a flurry of sales and resetting the ride for everyone to get back on board again. Cryptocurrency is so conceptual and yet so powerful that even Dogecoin, a cryptocurrency created as a satirical joke, rose by 20,000% in just a single year. If you want to support my channel, I'd be thrilled if you checked out one of my novels, linked in the description. Thanks very much. What on earth does this all have to do with Rolex? The idea of investing in watches is a very recent one, and to most ordinary people, too risky to part ways with a significant sum of cash over. For the last few decades, a gentle but steady increase in prices on Rolex has encouraged most owners to seek the models they want and keep them, knowing that their purchases will remain relatively safe from depreciation. To someone comfortable with investing in cryptocurrency, however, the steady incline of a Rolex watch's value looks like the most stable investment possible. And so, with a spike in Bitcoin between October 2020 and April 2021, those profits were moved into high-value, high-demand watches like Rolex, taking the stable line it had followed for years and cranking it up a few degrees. A sharp dip, followed by another rise in Bitcoin in November of 2021 to a record high, pushed a renewed energy into Rolex, sending prices up a further 30% in just 5 short months. But short-sightedness prevailed, and Bitcoin, from its November 2021 peak, began to plummet. The effects were catastrophic, since the enormous growth just a year before had seen not just individuals profit from Bitcoin, but businesses as well. Crypto agencies like Coinbase and FTX began to fail. The house of cards was falling. Availability of once difficult-to-procure items also started to resume, and so many of the smaller bubbles seen across even the most obscure industries, like astrophotography, began to settle. They're still not completely back to normal, but trends are certainly looking more familiar. With Rolex, however, the crypto bubble means that correction is steep, returning back to the original trajectory seen over 2 years ago. Thanks to watch charts, you can trace that line through to now to see that prices should be beginning to stabilize. There may be a little bit of wobble and overshoot, if you like, but my guess is that within 4 to 6 months, we'll see something closer to normal than we've seen for a long while. You might be wondering, why do I care about this? I'm a terrible investor when I don't try, and an even worse one when I do. So how does the fluctuating and eventual settling of Rolex prices affect me? Well, like all the other hobbies that had to go on pause these last few years, I really would like to get started again. I've owned a few Rolex in the past because I like Rolex watches, and I really would like to own another in the future, if at least to prove I'm not a total moron when it comes to making purchases. So this isn't for the investors, the speculators, the cash grabbers. This is for the enthusiasts, the people who've been forced to sit by and watch as the crypto bros have had their way with our childhood sweetheart. I don't particularly believe in karma, but I do believe in balance, self-regulation. GameStop shares are almost back to normal. Bitcoin continues to drop. I managed to get a nice telescope, and hopefully soon, I'll be able to get my Rolex back too. Let me know what you think of the whole Rolex thing down in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your perspective, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. Thank you. Don't forget to check me out over on the Watchfinder channel too. Thanks, and see you next time. Goodbye.